This is section 5.5 on trigonometric equations. We're going to solve the equations. On the first one, we're going to minus 3 sine over, and we get 2. 2 sine of x is equal to square root of 3. Then we're going to divide by 2. So we get square root of 3 over 2. And then we're going to take the inverse sine of both sides. So inverse sine of square root of 3 over 2. Now we're asked what angle has a sine that is square root of 3 over 2? And that is at pi over 3, because this is the point 1/2 square root of 3 over 2. There's another one at 2 pi over 3. 2 pi over 3. But we're not given any kind of range, so we want to solve this for all values. Well, we can start with pi over 3. But then if we go all the way around, add 2 pi, there's another solution. Go all the way around again, another solution. We can go around as many times as we want. As a matter of fact, we can go around backwards and get another solution. So we're going to add on multiples of 2 pi. And so it's 2 pi n, where n is an integer. We can also do the same thing with 2 pi over 3 and add on 2 pi n also, because we can go all the way around and get another answer. Solve the equation. On this one, let's take the inverse tangent of both sides right away. We have inverse tangent of square root of 3. And we want to know what angles have a tangent that is square root of 3. Well, that is pi over 3. The point is 1/2 square root of 3 over 2. And then when we go sine over cosine, we'll end up with square root of 3 over 1. Now notice over here that it says that x has to be between 0 and 2 pi. Well, there's also another one. So our first one is pi over 3, and then there's another one down here, which is 4 pi over 3. That's the point negative 1/2, negative square root of 3 over 2, so the negative divided by negative, that gives you a positive. So we get 4 pi over 3. Now keep in mind, like I said, that x is between 0 and 2 pi, so we can keep listing these values. 4, 5, 6, 7 pi over 3. That would be this one again. 8, 9, 10 pi over 3. So 10 pi over 3. And maybe we go one more. 11, 12, 13 pi over 3. And now we're going to list all of them that are less than 2 pi. And we're going to multiply both sides by 1/2. So we're going to multiply all these by 1/2. We get pi over 6. 4 pi over 6, that can be reduced. 7 pi over 6, that's still less than 2 pi. 10 pi over 6 and 13 pi over 6. That one is slightly over 2 pi. So we've gone too far with that one. So we have pi over 6, 2 pi over 3, 7 pi over 6, and 5 pi over 3. Sine of x over 3 is equal to 1/2. Let's take the inverse sine of both sides. Inverse sine of 1/2. So we want to know what angles have a sine that's 1/2 between 0 and 2 pi. And sine is a half at pi over 6 and 5 pi over 6. So x over 3 is equal to pi over 6 and 5 pi over 6. But now we're going to multiply by 3. So x is equal to 3 pi over 6 and 15 pi over 6. But that's equal to pi over 2. And 15 pi over 6 is an answer, but that's more than 2 pi. So x can't be 15 pi over 6. On this one, let's factor. This factors into 2 sine of x and sine of x. And then we got to use factors of 1. Well, not a whole lot of choices here. We got -1 and -1. So we get negative 2 sine, negative 1 sine, negative 3 sine. Now we're going to set these equal to 0. 2 sine of x is equal to 1. Sine of x is 1/2. And x is, sine is 1/2 at pi over 6 and 5 pi over 6. Now we're going to set this one equal to 0. Add 1 over. And x is 1, or excuse me, sine is 1 at pi over 2. On this one, let's add 3 over. So we have 4 cosine squared x is equal to 3. And we'll divide by 4. So that gives us 3/4. And now we're going to square root both sides. So that's going to be, so cosine of x is equal to square root of 3 over 2, but we square rooted both sides, so we need plus or minus. Now we need to know where cosine is positive or negative square root of 3 over 2, and that's at the pi over 6's. So pi over 6, 5 pi over 6, 7 pi over 6, and 11 pi over 6. On this one, let's minus the sine over. So we have sine x, tangent of x minus sine of x is equal to 0. And that allows us to factor out a sine. And we have tangent of x minus 1 equal to 0. Now we want to know where sine of x is equal to 0, and that is at 0 and pi. And we want to know where tangent of x minus 1 is equal to 0. Tangent of x is equal to 1, and tangent is 1 at pi over 4 and 5 pi over 4. Excuse me. Solve. Well, we got to get something, we got to get a sine to a cosine or a cosine to a sine, and we can't really change cosine. We're going to have to change sine squared, and we can change sine squared to 1 minus cosine squared. Minus 3 cosine of x is equal to 0. Let's distribute the 2. 2 minus 2 cosine squared x minus 3 cosine of x is equal to 0. And I really like that squared term to be positive, so let's get everything to the other side. 0 is equal to 2 cosine squared x minus 3 cosine x and minus 2. Let's factor, and we have 2 cosine and cosine. That'll get us the 2 cosine squared. And then I need to combine 2 with 2 to get negative 3. How about negative 2 here and positive 1? So we have negative 4, positive 1 gives us the negative 3. Well, 2 cosine of x plus 1 is equal to 0. 2 cosine of x is equal to negative 1. Cosine of x is negative 1/2. So where is cosine negative 1/2? That's 2 pi over 3 and 4 pi over 3. With this one, we're going to set this equal to 0. Add 2 over. And we want to know where cosine is 2. Cosine cannot be 2. The biggest cosine can be is 1. So these are the only answers. This one does not produce another answer. On this one, with cosine of 2x, we have 3 choices, one of which only has sine in it, and that is 1 minus 2 sine squared x. So I change cosine, that's a double angle formula for cosine, is 1 minus 2 sine squared plus sine is equal to 0. Let's get everything to the other side again. 0 equals 2 sine squared x minus sine of x minus 1. And we can factor 2 sine of x and sine of x. And we need to get a negative 1. So how about a minus 1 over here, plus 1, that's negative 2, and positive 1, that's a negative 1. Now we want 2 sine of x plus 1 equal to 0. 2 sine of x is equal to negative 1. Sine of x is negative 1/2. Well, now we want to know where sine is negative 1/2. And that's at 7 pi over 6 and 11 pi over 6. Let's get the other answer. Sine of x minus 1 is equal to 0. We want to know where sine of x is equal to 1, and that is at pi over 2.